Hey, bub.
Welcome to the Shazam Cast.
Come on, Logan. Let's go fight aliens.
Oh, burn, Leo, burn.
X-Men featuring Scott Pilgrim.
That's such a double
It's
title.
a fucking X-Men movie.
When you got a butt that
Shazam Cast. Hello and welcome to the Shazam Cast.
I am not Dan. I'm his evil brother, Blan.
And I am Leo. Why not?
I know all about comic books.
And so does Dan. And I am Leo. And I know nothing about comic books. And this is a show where me and Dan talk about comic book and superhero movies for as long as we can manage without breaking our brains. And in following with our series of X-Men movies.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot last episode was part of X-Men month. But yeah, this one's X-Men month.
Yeah, we didn't even say that. So yeah, we're doing X-Men month right now. We did the original X-Men trilogy, and last week we did X-Men Origins Wolverine, and today we are doing... Do you want to say it?
The Wolverine.
This is a movie about how Logan goes to Japan to fulfill his legacy as the Wolverine, say goodbye to some guy, apparently botched Silver Samurai or something.
Yeah, basically. And a bunch of and fight Yakuza and fall in love with Mariko and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay. Wait. So can I? I'll just recap the plot very, very quickly.
Wolverine goes to Japan. Okay.
Wolverine goes to Japan to say goodbye to a man he saved in World War II from the atomic bomb somehow. It's the way he saves him is just as bad as the Indiana Jones hiding in a fridge, but.
I thought it was cool, actually. Like, the intro was very cool, I thought.
It was, okay, actually, I'll say this right now, because we're talking about the good stuff. I loved the opening. It was really, really great.
Yeah, for some reason, all the X-Men movies, and I said this in the last episode, have just brilliant openings.
They know how to start a movie.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing.
Unfortunately, they don't always know how to have a good movie.
How to do the rest of it, yeah. But he goes to Japan to say goodbye to this guy against his will. Previously to this, he was living in a cave somewhere in wherever, and he had grown a beard and long hair, and Hugh Jackman walking around.
He was practicing for his Jean Valjean audition. Shout out to Thomas for, sorry.
No one who's listening to the show will have any idea what we're talking about. Me and
inside
Dan
jokes.
I'll say it. Me and Dan.
No, it's fun.
It's not funnier if you don't explain. Me and Dan have a friend named Thomas who is a big fan of Les Mis. Sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's Les Miserables, the famous Broadway, or not the Broadway. It's the famous.
It was on Broadway.
It was
the
on
famous
Broadway.
musical based on a book written by Victor Hugo, and he's a huge fan of it.
Giant fan.
And we always like tease him about how we call it Les Miserables just to piss him off.
We pronounce all the French things like Americans, because that's what we are.
And we have complete justification for this because we saw this really interesting interview with Russell Crowe about how to pronounce everything.
Yeah, Russell Crowe taught us how to say Jean Valjean and Javert. And
yes.
Yeah, Les Miserables.
Angel Ross. Yeah, but shout out to Thomas. We love you.
We love you so much. Keep up the good work.
If it's actually, he's going to be in a production of Les Mis, the Leonia Youth Theater, I think it is. I'll leave a description if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah, so I heard.
Go watch him.
And another good thing, actually, you know what? As long as we're talking about this, and I promise he did not pay us to talk about any of this. Yeah, Thomas actually has a blog where he reviews movies. Recently, he's been doing some superhero movies, and that's how this correlates. So if you're interested in reading reviews of superhero movies or just reviews of movies in general, check out, I believe it's criticteen.blogspot.com. If it's not, I'll edit that and make it sound like I'm saying the right thing.
Yeah, but
in the original recording, you just heard me say the right title, but in the original recording I said AOL.net.
Just go to AOL.net
and that's where you'll find Thomas.
He is the sole owner of AOL.
All right, so the Wolverine. He goes to Japan. Let's see. He gets his powers sucked out of him. Goes to a funeral. The Japanese mob shows up and tries to kidnap the disposable love interest of the movie, which we'll get to. We will talk about that in depth. But they try to kidnap her. He names himself her protector for some reason.
Yeah.
There's a poison doctor there.
Oh god, I hate her so much. I just ugh.
Point is, there's a lot of fight scenes with Japanese mob members.
They're called Yakuza.
Yeah, and Wolverine almost dies a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And it's really actually I'm having trouble explaining, and that's probably not good.
All right, let's talk about what we liked and what we didn't like.
Yeah, you know what? If you're a loyal enough listener, you'll have seen the movie, or at least you're kind of familiar with it from what we've said. And if you're not, then whatever.
You can either watch it or look up the description on Wikipedia.
Yeah, synopsis. Look up a synopsis every time you listen to this listen to these episodes, because we're not good at this.
Synopsis.
All right, so whatever it's pronounced. I'm Russian, okay? I'm not allowed to mispronounce things. Okay. So I loved the opening.
Yeah, again.
I actually, and I can't tell what you're gonna say about this. I actually don't know. I kind of a little bit, as much as I hated the love interest thing between Wolverine and Jean Grey in the X-Men trilogy, I kind of like the torn up Wolverine in the beginning of the movie where he's like grumpy and has long hair and is like kind of, pissed at everyone. Because I don't know, I guess it kind of makes him, I don't know, it's hard to explain why I like that. I think it just makes him kind of human in a way that but not also, I don't know.
I'm just kind of, I'm totally sick of the romance.
It is really annoying.
I think it's like kind of like verging on creepy at this point because like how much did like Logan and Jean actually have romance? Like, honestly, what romantic moments did Logan and Jean actually share? I mean, other than that in that beautiful fan fiction we read a few episodes ago. But yeah, they like.
This is actually true to this day. We have not. I mean, or to our knowledge, they knew each other for what, like 2 years?
Yeah, something like that. But we never see them have like any real romantic interest in each other, other than Wolverine kind of being creepy.
And in this movie, he has like friggin' dreams where there are a couple in bed and stuff, and it's like, what?
Yeah, he's like these vivid hallucinations about Jean and about like, oh, are you gonna do it? And it's like, this guy's fucked up.
It's really weird, yeah. He's obsessed with this person.
And so
it's a little strange. File a restraining order, Ghost of Jean. Jean Val Jean.
Oh god. Usually I'm the one to make the bad, less miserable jokes.
You really are. Let's see. Thing is, all of the things I say in this make me sound like I have, or you're gonna hate a lot of the things I talk about, which I kind of like the running joke with Wolverine and flying.
Which one is that?
Throughout both of the Wolverine movies, there's this thing with Wolverine not liking being on planes and flying.
Okay, I didn't pick up on it enough to care, so I don't.
Oh, in Origins, I didn't talk about it last week because it wasn't important enough. But in Origins, last time, I don't know. But in Origins, there's this bit where he's like on the plane with the task force, and Deadpool is talking about, oh, you don't like planes? Would you like, a sick bag or whatever? He's like being all obnoxious. And then in this movie, again, Wolverine's on a plane a couple of times, and he's always like kind of.
I don't know. I didn't think it was important enough to care.
It's not. I just kind of like it. It's a little, thing that they do. Let's see.
It's fun.
Oh, this is not a positive thing or a negative thing. It's just a thing I wrote down when they shaved off his hair and his beard. I said, "Did someone say sideburns?"
Because well, maybe they were like, okay, the old guy, he brings Wolverine in, and it's like, okay, we need to make sure. Okay, we need to make sure that he looks exactly like he was when I remember him.
Yeah, it's actually quite possible that's what happened.
I don't know, but...
Or, weird, what's her name? Mariko said that he can't go in the room with her grandpa if he looks like a bum. So... Maybe
he had to have a certain sideburn.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, that's whatever.
So I wrote down I have mixed feelings about Dream Gene. We'll get into that when we're talking about the negative stuff. That's not a positive thing. Oh, here we go. I like the actor playing young Yoshida. The
I
young.
think it's the same actor in makeup, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting. I couldn't
Oh.
tell.
I'll remember this. Totally not on the internet.
He seemed like he was
Huh.
different, but either way, I really like him when he was playing the young himself because because all the scenes from World War II when it's Wolverine and Yoshida in the thing in like the tank thing down underground, it's pretty cool, actually.
All right, hold on. What's the guy's name?
Wait a minute! I just realized something.
Yes.
He got the name Wolverine, in the 20th century when he was with Kayla after the task force.
Yeah.
Yet Yoshida, I think, knows him as Wolverine from when they were in World War II together. Why am I questioning the consistency of an X-Men film? Forget it.
Yeah, it was the same guy throughout.
Oh, that's awesome. In that case, he was really convincing at being old. I thought it was two different people, kind of. Actually,
Yamanochi. I'm probably butchering your name.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Welcome to the Racist Cast.
Well, it's not. Well, is it racist if you don't actually mean to be racist?
No, it's not. But the point is, let's see. What did I say?
I don't actually know if I agree with you on that, but I'm not going to get into it.
Wait a minute. Oh, I have no other positive notes about this movie.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a joyride.
Alright. My positive notes. Hugh Jackman, whatever, you're great. Keep it up. I think that the orange-haired woman, whatever her name was.
Oh, she was good. The one who sees when people will die.
Not Mariko. Yukio.
Yes, Yukio. She was really good.
Yeah, she was good, and I thought that she was interesting, and
her acting was on top. She was on point.
She was one of the better actors. I think she was like her and Hugh Jackman were probably the best.
Totally.
In the film. And then what else did I like? I thought Hugh Jackman or Wolverine looked cool in a black coat.
Oh, he did actually. Yeah, the black coat was nice.
I liked more things. I liked the kind of change of setting, honestly. Like, it felt really good.
Oh, the being in Japan?
Yeah, like, I don't know, most of them take place in America, and
do.
And you could really feel that it was a different country.
Yeah,
and it was different.
It felt instantly, yeah, you could tell. Yeah, definitely. The change of setting, it was a nice shift.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know, I thought that it was I think it just was interesting to do it in a new place.
Totes, totally. Oh, I said totes. God. I apologize. Anyways.
Apology to everyone ever.
Do go on.
I don't know, I thought most of the actors were decent.
They were pretty alright.
And I thought that the actress who played Mariko looked a lot like her comic book counterpart.
Like, wait, Mariko's in the comic books?
Yes.
Oh.
Very much so.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna piss off people later.
Alright, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, she looked very much like...
Does she get with Logan in the comic books?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, never mind. Forget it. We'll talk about it
But it's
later.
a lot different in the comic books.
Okay,
this is a very different version of Wolverine's Japan days.
We will talk about it later. We will talk about that later.
Despite me not liking what they did with the Silver Samurai, he had a really cool design.
I don't know what Silver Samurai is, but yeah, he did have a cool design.
The robot thing.
I know what it is. I mean, I don't know what it was in the movies. I mean, in the books.
And I thought that most of the action was all right. Nothing like particularly good, but like nothing horrible. I mean, for the most part, you could see what was happening, and in a lot of movies, that's not the case.
Yeah,
Cough,
I appreciate that you could tell.
Man of Steel, cough. But yeah, other than that, that's about it.
That's the positive notes. Yeah. Shall we get to okay, let me see. Do I have questions? Yes, I have one question. one important question before we move on to the negative stuff. When the hell did Wolverine get his memory back? Why does he remember World War II? At no point in the X-Men trilogy did he remember what happened before. He didn't remember his brother or his romance or Gambit or anything from Origins. So why does all of a sudden, after The Last Stand, he suddenly remember all this stuff from World War II? What?
Because fuck you. That's why.
That's right. Yeah, wait, why am I... Right, okay. From here forth, I shall attempt not to question the consistency of X-Men movies, because there's no point.
Okay, once we get into First Class... Woo boy! Alright.
Let's see. So, negatives?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's kick it off with a simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're sad... Wolverine's living in the forest, and some hunters come by, or early in the morning, he's like walking through the forest to the town, and he meets up with a bear. He like walks.
That is so badly CGI.
He walks with the bear, and the bear doesn't attack him or anything. They just chill, and then he walks to the town, and then later he finds the bear dead. And
can I just talk about the bear for a minute?
We're sad because it was a nice bear.
I want to talk about this bear.
All right.
First of all, he was horribly CGI'd. Like, that is, like, some of the worst bear CGI I've ever seen. Second of all, he was so, like, ugh, I'm with nature now. And then he just fucking pees like a dog. And I don't know how bears pee because I'm not a bear urine expert, but it just seems so fucking stupid to have this bear in there.
When I saw that, he was walking, and just before the shot cuts away with the bear, like, lifts up his back paw and just, like, pees on a stump or something, and I'm like, why have that in there? What was the point of that bit? Was that, like, to make little kids who were watching the movie laugh?
Yeah.
Because they're not going to laugh at anything else in this movie, so I guess.
Yeah. One thing that's wrong with this movie in general is that it has a weird tone. Because at some points it's, like, super serious, like them escaping from the bombings of Hiroshima, but then it's like, it's a bear peeing. They're in a love hotel. It's like,
yeah, the love hotel thing. Halfway through, Wolverine's like, okay, we need to... Marika wants to go stay at her, like, family's place, and Logan's like, no, we can't go there because they're gonna know we're there. So he's like, we're getting in this hotel, and they go in the hotel, and then she's like, this is a love hotel for couples, and then he looks around at the signs, and he, like, realizes it's, like, role play suites.
The thing is, I realized about this movie, in Origin, Wolverine is an idiot, but in this one, he's actually, like, somewhat smart.
He's a smart guy.
Well, at least he, like, isn't dumb enough to be just like, okay, let's go to your house where they know that you own. He's like, and he actually is just like, he doesn't deal with Mariko's shit. He's like,
I appreciate that, yeah.
You do realize that they know that that you own that house, and it's like, but yeah, but like, where else am I gonna go? And he's like, he actually does a decent job
protecting her.
Yeah, and he's not a complete moron about it.
I don't know why he appoints himself her protector randomly, but like, okay.
I don't know. He's a nice guy.
Because we need to get the plot moving.
Yeah.
But let's see. Yeah.
Something about maybe like the grandpa wanting him to protect her or something.
Yeah,
like
I guess.
That.
Okay. A bartender watches two mental mutants start a fight with hunters, poison, and a sword in his bar, and does nothing to prevent it or call the police. In the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Wolverine starts to, like, beat up some hunters for killing a bear, stabs a guy in the hand with a poison arrowhead. Then, what's her name? Yuriko?
No, Mariko.
No, the girl who can see when people die.
That's Yukio. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
Yukio shows up with her and then pulls out a sword and starts talking about the history of her ancient Japanese sword and is like, where, it means to separate the flesh. The name means separating of flesh or something. And the bartender's just, there's actually a shot of the fight going on. Like, them, like, it's not really a fight as much as it's like a staring match during which Wolverine stabs a guy in the hand.
A staring match? They just unblinkingly stare at each other?
But the point is, there's, like, this, tensions build, and actually, at one point, people do start fighting in the bar, and there's a shot from above, and you see people fighting, and the bartender's just standing at the bar. He's just, like, there. He's like, okay, normal bar business. Just a minute ago, he was like, guys, come on, take it outside. If you have a problem, take it outside.
Yeah, Wolverine has a habit of getting into bar fights, like he did in the first X-Men movie, and then he did in Origins, and then he did again in here.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? Oh, right. I said, like, literally the first time Mariko showed up on the screen, I said, please tell me they're not going to make Logan and Mariko a thing. Because I think it was just a thing in the cinematography, what they did. There was, like, just a certain shot that they did of her or something, and, like, just the eye contact that they made or something, I instantly knew. I was like, crap, no. Please tell me they're not. X-Men, you're better than this. When, soon as Mariko showed up, I knew for a fact she would be a disposable love interest, and I knew that, and then halfway through the movie, they're at the country house, and they get caught in the rain, and they run home, and then, literally, okay, they're talking, and he says something about how he has nothing in his life, or something, and then she leans in to kiss him, and I pause the movie, and I get out my notes, and I'm just like, motherfucking movie, I hate this bullshit so much.
Okay.
Logan Mariko thing is so stupid. And let me finish the note. I say, they share no chemistry. I find it hard to believe that Mariko is capable of chemistry. Also, there is no point in him having a disposable love interest in every movie, and why is it that every time he has one of these disposable love interests, they have to, before they die, tell him a folklore story about the animal Wolverine?
Okay.
Every single time.
Okay, I definitely agree that they have, like, literally no chemistry together, and that she's not the best actress.
Mariko shows no emotion in this movie. That's another note I have. She's not an expressive person, but...
But the thing is, I like that they don't just have it so they share, like, one scene together, and then are in love, and that they actually try to build up a romance, and they, like, spend time together, and they, like, actually, like, do things together. They don't just be like, oh, we're in love now.
At least they spent time developing it or making it work, unlike Logan and Jean, where they were like, he has one shot where he wakes up and sees her, and then after that, he just starts flirting with her, and he's instantly in love. Like, what?
Yeah. So yeah, they at the very least they spend time with it. But
yeah, that's, I don't know. Oh, here's another thing. There's a bit where he's at the funeral of the guy, you know, Yoshida, who quote-unquote died. We'll get to that later. But the point is, he's at the funeral, and then he asks, like, the Evil McEvil Pants something, Mariko's dad, and Evil McEvil Pants is like, time for you to go back to your cave now. He answers his question, and then he's like, he said he wanted you to come here to say goodbye, and now you have. Time to you go back to your cave now. And I wrote down, why does this feel like a Japan-themed episode of Scooby-Doo? Because it literally felt like one of those things in Scooby-Doo where, like, they're snooping around, and then the obviously evil person is like, you know, you shouldn't be snooping around here. I think it's time for you kids to head home. It's like, what? I just suddenly got this vibe that, like, I don't know, I so much that I had to write it down. It's a Japan-themed episode of Scooby-Doo.
I'm not going to disagree with you. That's pretty damn accurate.
The fight scene on top of the train is kind of cool, but also kind of silly.
Yeah, that's a lot of this movie. Actually, it's kind of cool, but also kind of silly.
Oh, here's another thing. Wolverine's about to die, or they think he's about to die, because he has the parasite from Viper in his heart, and he cuts his own chest open to pull his heart out and get the thing out, or whatever.
Kalima!
And Yukio freaks out because she saw him die, which she was completely wrong about, and they never really go into how her powers work, or whether they're always correct, or what. But the point is, she was wrong, and he is pulling the thing out of his heart, and then it works, and he doesn't die. And then Evil McEvil Pants runs up to, like, try to kill him, and then he's fighting with Yukio, and he's about to hit her with the sword, and then Wolverine blocks his sword with his claws, and all I wrote down was, the best revival line that they could come up with of Wolverine coming back was, "Don't hit my friends." And I felt like they had such an opportunity for, like, a cool line for Wolverine to say there. Like, he just almost came back from the dead,
to kick your ass.
Well, like, something. Like, I don't know. Say something about Bub, or, I don't know. Just don't say don't hit my friends. Don't hit my friends is... I don't know. It's fine. It's just not... It's like...
Alright. Anything else, or are you...
Oh, I have lots. Let's see.
God.
Viper is Lady Exposition. She just is. In this movie, she is Lady Exposition.
I fucking hated Viper in this movie, just saying.
What is Viper?
Not this.
Was she cool in the comics, or...
Yeah, she's kind of like an evil version of Black Widow in the comic books.
Ooh.
And she's actually, very... she's very associated with Hydra. She's even called Madam Hydra, which is... Yeah, I'm surprised that the X-Men people even have the rights to her.
Wow.
Yeah. She's she's literally like one of the, big, like, she basically, like, is the second in command of Hydra over in the Marvel Universe.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I don't believe let me see. Let's see. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think she had weird toxic snake powers.
Dan's superpower is Google.
Yeah.
Even if she had the weird toxic snake powers, the point stands that Viper shows up at one point literally just to hold a guy against a wall and deliver exposition to his face. And in a way that, like...
Wait, that's a lot worse than the poison, dude.
In the movie world, exposition is poison, but the way she did it, like, it was one of those scenes where, like, people... Have you ever seen, there's, like, people do this in movies where they, like, deliver exposition, and the way that they deliver it is they say something that the person already knows. They're like, this thing is true. So she was like, your men, I hired your men to do this thing, and you are not doing this thing. I need him for this and this. You know that. And I'm like, if he knows all this information, why are you even saying it? Lady Exposition, I don't know. Otherwise, as long as we're on Viper, Viper goes to the trouble... After she gets stabbed and falls down a flight of stairs, Viper is perfectly fine, and then she goes to the trouble of shedding her skin just to demonstrate that she can?
No, I thought she, like, got shot or something. Didn't she?
So?
I don't know, maybe it was, like, she got, like, a bruise or something and didn't wanna...
I think she got stabbed, maybe.
I don't know.
Because, when a reptile gets stabbed, it evades that by shedding its skin. That always works.
Yeah, dude, Biology 101.
Sure. Let's see. Oh, here we go. In Origins, they set up this thing about how adamantium they got out of this meteorite that Stryker, like, went on a quest to Nigeria to find. And then Yoshida has, like, years to prepare for his oncoming death or whatever, but he builds a giant robot out of adamantium. It seems surprisingly easy to find, considering how much they set up that it was such a rare, indestructible thing in the last movie.
Yeah. Dude, are you gonna... Are we gonna try to question the continuity again?
Oh, I'm sorry, continuity. That's right. What am I talking about? Continuity in an X-Men movie? Psh.
Continuity, more like not tenuity.
Continuity, more like pissing bear.
More like bad CGI bear.
Right. Let's see. Do I have any other negative notes? I must. Let's see. I felt like I was gonna rant more about Logan and Mariko than I did, but it was just dumb. And Mariko seems like a person who is incapable of chemistry, but whatever. Oh, here we go. The archer guy. There's a sniper dude.
I'll fucking get into him. Japanese Hawkeye.
Yeah, you talk about Hawkeye in a minute. All I'm gonna say is during the climax, he says the line, "This is madness," and the movie was made after 300, so I don't know what they were thinking.
maybe like, maybe it was like in X-Men Origins when they were just like embracing their stupidity.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, is that it, or are you going to continue on?
Ah, God, I should have, like... Oh, what the hell was that ending? Wolverine is like, screw you, Mariko, I'm a soldier again. He gets on a plane with Yukio, who now has officially chosen to be his bodyguard, I guess. They get on the plane, and then...
Is it just like with bodyguards, it's just like, you know, I think I'm gonna be your bodyguard now, but I don't need a bodyguard. Shut up, I'm your bodyguard now! I think that's how it works.
It is now. But they get on a plane,
Leo,
and
I'm your bodyguard now.
Are you, though? I feel like I need to pay you, or like...
I'm your fucking bodyguard!
Okay, I'm sorry. God. But, okay, they get on a plane, and I forget the exact exchange that they have, but it's something along the lines of, what now? I'm gonna do your woman voice to Yukio, even though she was actually pretty good. I'm
not your bodyguard anymore.
But she's like, what now? And Wolverine's like, now we're getting up, but we're going up in the plane, bub. And she's like, where are we going? And Wolverine says, up, hopefully, or like first up or something. And she's like, and then what? And he says, we'll see. And she says, interesting. And then they both look at the back of the seats in front of them and just sit in the plane awkwardly for 7 seconds, and then the credits roll.
Count this?
What was that ending?
It was the... I don't know, it was just like... It was, don't question me, bitch.
I guess it was, like, symbolic because Wolverine, first of all, is willing to fly, which was kind of a thing, but you didn't even notice it, so whatever. But it's also a thing because Wolverine's, like, you know, ready for the future. He accepts that there is going to be a future. He's like, yeah, alright, let's go. Let's see what happens. Back to the old days, I guess. But the 7 seconds of awkward silence was strange. And we'll talk about the post-credit scene in a minute, but you talk about everything that you
Alright, I'll talk about my stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, so... Let me tell you about the original Japan storyline. So, the original Japan was a prequel, actually.
What?
To when, yeah, in the comic books, Wolverine went to Japan before he joined the X-Men.
No.
Yeah.
What a twist.
It's almost 11 o'clock. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, but yeah, so that's... And I honestly think this would have worked better as a prequel, just because it would have been interesting to see Logan actually, like, have to learn something, as opposed to just kind of scowl at stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been interesting, because in the comic books, Mariko and Wolverine have a romance. And how it works in that is that, I'm probably getting this really wrong, but...
I love how you're supposed to be the guy who knows stuff about comic books, but most of the episodes, like, involve you saying some form of the words, like, don't blame me if I'm getting this wrong, I might be saying this wrong, might be a wrong thing.
Because we usually record this at, like, not at, like, some late hour,
yeah,
and...
that's true.
Like, I get all my information from the internet and random animated series, so...
I think our last recording tonight is gonna have to be, the Wolverine fanfiction, and then we'll do First Class later.
Alright.
Right.
But yeah, so in the comics, Mariko and Logan were actually engaged.
Oh.
But Harada, or Harada.
Who?
No, it's Harada. Harada in the movie was...
Oh, Japanese Hawkeye?
Yes.
Okay.
But in the comic books, he's Silver Samurai.
What?
And in the comic books, he has the power to make his sword into, like, a lightsaber. So...
Sorry. That's just, it's amusing.
So, that's a very major fuck-up. And Harada's like an asshole in the comic books. And basically steals Mariko from Wolverine. And, like, doesn't want her to be, married to Wolverine for no reasons or whatever. But yeah, they very, very fucked him up.
Well, I guess, yeah, they screwed up Silver Samurai and that guy.
Well, they made him two different people.
Yeah.
I don't even think what's his fucking name? What's the guy? Yoshida. I don't even know if he was in the original comics.
Speaking of which, Yoshida didn't actually die. He was in a giant Silver Samurai suit. What a twist.
Yeah, that's stupid.
What a
I don't know.
twist.
Yeah, they really fucked up the comics. And I think I wish this movie, again, I feel like this movie had a lot of potential that they didn't go with. Like, I really wish this was maybe kind of more like a classic samurai story. Like, what if this took, like, this is just a random thought, but what if this movie took place, like, right after World War II?
Whoa.
And, like, what if it was, like almost like a Tale to the West kind of thing? Or, I think I'm probably, the one with the Monkey King, where it was, like, Wolverine is trying to get this guy somewhere safe, and he ends up, like, in this little village, falling in love with Mariko, and then he has to defend it from Harada and a bunch of other guys, and it kind of is like this very kind of classic Seven Samurai type thing. And I wish it was more
Wow.
kind of more. I wish it was a lot more stylized, and I wish it was a lot more kind of just its own thing instead of trying to be this weird X-Men sequel / spin-off / some other random thing. So I didn't like that.
prequel to Days of Future Past.
Yeah. I didn't like that. I think it should have just tried to be its own thing, like First Class did, which we'll get into.
Interesting.
Other than that, fucking hated Viper. I thought she was just really poorly done. And how the fuck does Fox have the rights to her again? Because she's very much more, I don't know, maybe she was in the X-Men again. Don't quote me on this. But yeah, what the fuck? They could have done so much more with her if she was going to be the villain. Like, why couldn't she have been like... Actually, what the fuck were her motivations throughout this movie?
Wait a minute, I'm confused. Isn't Hydra a Marvel thing?
Yeah, well, Hydra's more... Yeah, so how did they even get the rights to her in the first place? But
X-Men is
what
also a Marvel thing.
Yeah, but... Oh, did I not explain the whole copyright the thing?
No,
yet?
this is not told to me.
Oh, fuck. Alright. So, in the early 2000s, Marvel sold a lot of their comic book rights to movie studios to make movies for them. So they sold X-Men and Fantastic Four to Fox. They sold Sony. They sold Spider-Man to Sony, and I think that's it. I think they also sold the Hulk to Universal.
And then later they sold everything to Disney.
Well, no, Disney bought Marvel.
Oh, that's right. That's what I meant.
So what happened is in 2008, Disney bought Marvel and started making the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But they couldn't use the X-Men, Spider-Man, or Fantastic Four because they were all owned by other movie companies that they'd sold to them earlier in the decade.
Oh, wow.
So there's this whole big copyright dispute, like who can they use in
Avengers.
who can they use in movies and who can't they use, and like
That's interesting.
in Days of Future Past they have Quicksilver in it, but Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are also going to be in Avengers: Age of Ultron, but they're going to be two completely different versions of that character. And in the Avengers, they're not going to be able to mention that he is a mutant or that or any of his past or anything like that. So it's this huge, big debacle that's totally nuts.
That's amusing.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that Fox even has the rights to Madam Hydra, or maybe Marvel just didn't care enough. Or we're just like, whatever.
Either way, she was annoying.
Yeah, she was dumb, and I think... Yeah, but what were her motivations? Because I didn't know. Did you know?
I think she was being paid by Yoshida, but other than that, I have no idea. There was no discernible reason for her doing anything in this movie. She was I think she was just doing it because she hates everyone. She just likes stabbing people with pens, I think.
Yeah, but she had, like, a plan, which was confusing.
She had such an elaborate plan. Yeah, I think her plan had something to do with the Silver Samurai or something.
Fucking... Anyways, like I said, I didn't like Jean, because she was, like, weird, and, I didn't like the flashbacks, or the visions, or whatever. But this is, I think, my biggest gripe
Mm.
in this movie. Wolverine did not have a giant over-the-top fight scene with ninjas.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
That is honestly my biggest gripe.
They literally
Because-
had that opportunity.
Yes, I'm sorry. You cannot make a Wolverine movie set in Japan without having Wolverine have a giant over-the-top fight with a bunch of ninjas.
God damn it, you're
The
right.
closest thing they had was when he was going towards the factory and he got all those arrows stuck in him, and that was bullshit. He needs to have a big fight with a bunch of ninjas, and that didn't happen, and I am pissed off. That is my overall biggest gripe with this movie.
Well, once again, when they reboot X-Men with a Wolverine that's not as good as Hugh Jackman, that'll
Maybe.
be the first thing you make sure to do.
Alright, so overall, what are our thoughts of this movie?
A little silly, a very little contrived, a stupid romance for no reason, an annoying Viper, a Japanese Hawkeye, what a twist, and this is madness.
Alright, that's a very good summary.
My thoughts are for the movie that they were trying to make, they did a pretty decent job, but I feel like the reason why these movies seem to disappoint me and you so much so often is not because necessarily they're so bad, although some parts of it really, really are, but because of how good they could be. And I feel like this is a mutual thing that you...
Yeah, like, that's basically my final thoughts of it, is that it's okay, but it could have been so much better, and I'm really sad that it isn't as good as it could have been, because, like, if they did a proper Wolverine in Japan movie, it could be, like, up there with Dark Knight and Avengers.
Definitely.
But
I can see that.
they didn't, and I just feel like it's kind of a lazy, kind of just, oh, we gotta make another X-Men movie kind of deal.
Yeah.
So, my rating for this movie is going to be this. I think actually the same. Actually, not the same. It's gonna be. I'm gonna give this a 5.5, just a bit higher than Origins, because I think that it was a bit smarter of a movie, and it just felt like it knew a bit more of what it was doing, but it was also it didn't feel as ambitious as Origins did, and it doesn't feel as fun or creative as Origins did.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I'm going to go with a 5.5. I've been agreeing with you a lot recently.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for listening to The Wolverine. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, really, really, really quick. Why the hell is this movie called that? Why is it called The Wolverine?
Because they're trying to make it sound Japanese.
That doesn't sound Japanese. That does not sound Japanese at all. It's called The Wolverine.
Dude, don't you know the famous Japanese Wolverine that roam the mount?
That...
I have no... It's like... Fuck off, dude.
It's actually, it's a good question. Why is it that every time Wolverine has a disposable love interest, they first, before they die or are kicked off the movie, as Mariko was, where Wolverine was just like...
I don't know, she wasn't that disposable.
Yeah, but it was kind of like, will you come and visit me? No. Kinda. It was kind of like that. But
yeah, it was, but still.
But so the point is, why does every time he has a disposable love interest, and I feel like I mentioned this before, they have to tell him a story about the Wolverine?
When did she do that? When did Mariko do that? Because I don't remember.
Okay, so first in Origins...
No, I remember when they did it in Origins,
but I'll explain for the audience, because I'm a nice guy and I do that.
Ugh.
In Origins, when Kalo and Logan were together, she told him like a folklore story from I think the Native Americans or something that was like about a tale of the Wolverine who was like in love with the moon, and he went from the spirit world to the real world to get her some flowers, and he got stuck there and he howls at the moon every night, and that was like the Wolverine story. And then in this movie, Mariko, in the scene after I suppose they got it on in Mariko's country house, they
Ooh.
are like lying in the bed, and Mariko turns around and is like, when I was little, my grandfather would tell me stories of, and she said Japanese name of an animal or creature that I don't want to say because I'm gonna sound racist because I don't know how to pronounce Japanese things, nor do I remember what it was called. But the point is, that this is the animal, and I would have nightmares about it. But he said, don't be scared because this is a creature that helped me a long time ago, and it will protect you too. Or something like, it was like this dramatic thing, but it was, it's weird. It was kind of just an odd thing that they do twice, and it confuses me. Wolverine hears a lot of stories about himself, essentially.
Whatever. Okay, so thank you for listening. Join us next time as we dive into the horrible world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Wolverines in our bad fanfiction segment.
It's gonna be so much fun. You guys have no idea what hit you.
I'm scared.
This episode is going to kill you. I mean, last time, during Day of Reckoning, I was literally crying. So, let's just find out how we fare on this. Okay, so thank you all so much for listening.
Like and all that
yes,
stuff.
like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on iTunes if you like this episode and like to, download automatically more of them. Have fun, have a good night, and join us next time. And, God, the Wolverine. Have fun, everybody. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Shazamcast. If you'd like to take a minute to leave us a review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It only takes a minute or two, and it really helps us get the word out there about this show of ours. If you're listening to this episode on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to hear all our latest comic material as soon as it comes out. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/ShazamCast, and on WordPress, shazamcast.wordpress.com. So make sure you take a look at those sometime. Thanks. We love you. Some of you. The cool ones.